I think it's a pretty neat binocular. It's also competitively priced and certainly worth a look. Hi, I'm Mike Allibone, optics editor for Birdwatch and BirdGuides. In this review we're going to be looking at a binocular from a manufacturer which not too many birders I guess will be familiar with. This is German Precision Optics GmbH. They're located just outside Munich, and from now on we'll call them GPO, a conveniently short name. They were founded by highly experienced former managers and specialists from well-known names in the optics industry and set up with the objective of developing and offering premium quality optics at highly competitive price to performance ratio. While key areas of the business from research and development through design and construction to logistics are located in Germany, the final assembly of the products is actually effected in the company's international production network in Asia, including China, Japan and the Philippines. They also have a global distributor network with a noticeable concentration in Europe. They could then be considered the new kids on the block as far as the optics industry is concerned. So, we're going to be looking at this, the Passion ED 8x42, a binocular from the middle of their range. So let's have a look at what's in the box. Obviously the binocular itself, a hard carry case, a cleaning cloth, rain guard for the binocular, a carry strap for the carry case, an X strap for the binocular of course, and an objective cover, and last but not least the instruction book and the case. So the Passion ED 8x42 sits between the brand's entry-level SD and premium HD ranges. I can only describe it as being really quite sturdy. That was my first impression when I pulled it out of the box, to be quite honest. It's got a magnesium body, but it still weighs 740 grams, which okay isn't too bad. The average weight for an 8x42 binocular across the board is 708 grams, so it's only a wee bit above average. If you look at where the strap lugs are positioned here, they're about halfway down the length of the central focusing wheel. It's possible, I suppose, that you can actually get round them digging into your hands because the focusing wheel is quite generously deep, I would say. So that mitigates things just a wee bit. So I didn't find it a real problem or uncomfortable to use, and I could more or less keep my finger fairly straight when focusing. This binocular actually has a clip-in rubber objective shield, which basically goes in at the end like that. It's very easy to fit. So instead of having two separate objective covers, it has this shield which does protect the lenses from either the weather or when you're actually carrying the binocular around or keeping it in storage. You can actually fit it to the strap lug here on the end, but I didn't when I used it in the field. I don't like things dangling down, so I didn't really bother with that. The diopter adjustment is here, just below the right hand ocular. It turns quite easily, but it still retains its position after you've actually adjusted it for your own particular eyesight. There's a smooth turning focusing wheel, central focusing wheel. The eye cups have a very soft rubber beveled edge. They're very comfortable against the eye, or at least I found them so. They twist out to 3 loosely locking positions. Also, when you put on the rain guard, it's a very flexible rubber rain guard. You can actually put that on very easily indeed. and also take it off very easily, and it doesn't affect the position of the set eye cups. Basically, I was able to see the whole of the field of view when they were fully extended, which is good. The field of view itself is 143 metres at 1,000 metres. When you actually look through it, there's a slight deterioration in the image sharpness at the edges of the field. And this is not particularly noticeable with the general viewing, as is the chromatic aberration, which, if I go into the what I call my extreme Coots against bright water test, I find that in this particular model there is chromatic aberration visible in the outer thirds of the field of view, but the central third is at a very, very low level of chromatic aberration. Of course, when you're using this under normal conditions, you don't notice the chromatic aberration at all. The central focusing wheel is very smooth turning, although it does offer more resistance than some binoculars I've used in the past. But it only takes a quarter of a turn to move the focused image from 10 metres to long distance. It takes slightly more than a whole rotation to move from the close focus distance of 1.8 metres up to 10 metres. So it's actually quite fast focusing during a normal average use. In terms of general colour rendition, the image is neutral, and the colours delivered by this binocular are entirely natural. One of the tests I perform is to focus on a Phragmites bed, the general colour of which should be pale straw. Some of the more poorly performing binoculars will give the Phragmites a very noticeable brownish hue, but this was not at all evident with the Passion ED. The binocular employs ED glass, although I can't comment on its quality, and a Schmidt-Pecken prism system. In the field, I was able to really appreciate the nice natural colours of some of the star birds that we have locally, one of which was a nice sunlit glossy ibis, wonderfully reflecting the super colours from its plumage. Also Drake teal and Drake goosander, very nice and shiny reflective plumage on the heads of those birds. Also, viewing in low light conditions was no problem either. The binocular delivered a very good image, to be quite honest. The light transmission figure for this binocular is 90%, which isn't too bad at all. So to sum up, I think it's a pretty neat binocular. It's also competitively priced and certainly worth a look.